Yeah, I'll start. So, good afternoon, everyone. Or evening or morning, depending on obviously where you are. Thank you for coming to the session. So, this is 2L. This is Samir's from BMC, the evolving landscape of database administration in the mainframe world. Any questions, please pop them in the chat, and I'll hand it over to Smith. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Ricky, for the quick brief on the session. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So myself, I'm Samir Satyavolu. So I work at BMC Software as a QA. So earlier, I used to work in the mainframe development. So I used to work on COBOL, JCL, DB2, and IMS. So now, as a part of this QA role, so I'm working for database, IMS database backup and recovery portfolio of products. So day in and day out, we use the databases, we create those databases, we test them, the new functionalities and all. So today's topic, I will keep it pretty much quick and short. So it's a hot topic, relevant topic in today's day and age. So everything is about data. So everything is hosted in databases as well. So let's quickly dive into the topic. Yeah, so agenda for today's topic is I will quickly have a touch base on how the databases have been evolved and a couple of examples like what sort of databases we are using in the mainframe and the role of database administrator, what he actually does and how the technology is impacting on DBA operations. So even the databases have been evolving and the very same case with the roles of the database administrators as well. And apart from that, so we will be going through the challenges. And whenever we have challenges, we do have the opportunities. So we will also discuss what sort of opportunities it poses to us and followed by a quick conclusion. So if we see, earlier we used to store data on the punch cards and then later on we have these flat files in the mainframe. And if we want to store large amount of data which are having similar properties, we are using databases. So that's where, and if we see from the Apollo space mission, there was a need and IBM has come up with that IMS database information management system in 1965 or 66, if I'm not wrong. And we have, I'm not really sure how many folks are aware of these other databases which were supported through different vendors. So there is this IDMS, which is Integrated Database Management System, which more or less uses the hierarchical management itself, but it is being developed by CA, which is now as part of Broadcom. So CA Technologies, which has been acquired by Broadcom. And there is a ADABAS, so Adaptable Database System. So this has been offered by Software AG company, and it typically goes with the natural language. So likewise, we have COBOL and Python, like different scripting languages and high-level languages. So there is a language of natural. And moreover, these two have been like, they were launched in the early 1970s, 1972 or 73. But there have been changes. So even these database management systems are also evolved day by day. So a couple of them they're offering, even though they have started these, they have launched these products, DBMS products, only for the IBM mainframe. Now they are compatible with distributed world as well. And the very well renowned DB2. So this has been a late entrant, but most of the folks have been using. So it is as in capturing market wise. So it's all in the mainframe world, it is mostly the DB2. And yeah, we have the Oracle DB. So if people are aware, so we can use Oracle database in the mainframe. It is supported through the, it is not on the AZOS, but it is supported through the Linux systems, so Z Linux systems. So provided by Oracle. So these are a couple of vendors like who have been supporting all these software management DBMS solutions. And even like, as I said earlier, so there have been many new features that have been introduced. So a couple of them, so they are pretty much They have specialized in having the high volume and high transactional input data. And if we see a couple of them, they are like relational databases. Couple of them have the network model, and couple of them like AWS have the key data pair sort of model. So there are different varieties of DBMS system available, and we obviously we need the DBS to manage all these sort of systems. So going further, so if you ask me who exactly is a DBA, so I call them the guardians of the treasure. And by now you must have understood like the treasure is nothing but the data. So it is the by far most important thing in the current day and age. So it is the new gold. So that's what I call data. So if you see the typical database administrator, the traditional database administrator's role is to design a database. So everything starts at the design level itself, like how uh, he needs to design all those structure of the data, maybe like what exact data he is getting from the applications. So what sort of business he is handling, and how exactly he need to make sure the relations existing in the database. So so it starts from the design. So once the design is done, so if the database has been created, he needs to maintain the database as well, right? So there are these housekeeping activities every now and then a database administrator must do, like starting from having the disk refragmentation, which we call the reorganization of the database, to as in extending the space whenever needed. So if the database is full, so you have a couple of activities that you would be performing on the database. And apart from that, so performance tuning is one most important aspect because the data is growing day by day. So we need to, the database architecture or infrastructure should cope up with ever growing demand. So performance tuning is utmost important. And last but not least, but it's the security management. So every now and then we hear the incidents like there is a data breach that has been happened, or as in so and so company has lost so and so user data, like 2 million user groups, user based data. So utmost important thing. So he need to make sure the end users have appropriate access, and he's not providing he's controlling the access to only restricted set of users. So yeah, it's the database design, maintenance, and even the administration of it, performance tuning, security management, and there are two more important aspects. So disaster recovery planning. So a database administrator should also be well aware to bring the database up and running with minimal downtimes in the event of a disaster. So all this happens through a robust backup and recovery plan. So this is all sort of a strategic planning one must employ. It depends from shop to shop, so it varies with the database to database, so domain to domain, so it varies. And so if we see all of these activities have been happening, so a database administrator, he manages all these activities. So how does he manage these activities? So either through vendor specific tools. So I'm buying some DB2 license from IBM, or else IMS license from IBM. So IBM by default, they can provide me a set of tools to manage these databases. And obvious thing is he must not be performing all these activities every day manually. So he must be coming up with some sort of automated scripts for regular operations. But if we see what sort of utilities he might be using in a day-to-day life, so so he must be obviously taking the image copies. So need to make sure whenever there is an issue with the data, if the database has got corrupted, he need to make sure there is a chance to recover the database as well. So that can be done through image copy recovery utilities. And whenever we are taking the image copies, it also creates a downtime for a split of second. So depending on type of image copy. So as I said earlier, so it all depends on the strategy that they are employing. So that depends on like how quick you are able to recover your database. So that is possible even with the change accumulation, which is nothing but you have taken an image copy an hour ago, but you have inputs or else your database has been uploaded with a couple of more data afterwards. So that incremental data can be saved through the change accumulation. So it is through the logs. So we are saving it into the data sets. As I said, disk refragmentation or else reorganization of your database is utmost important, because every now and then there have been like millions of transactions going on, and all those data is being updated in the database itself at the backend. So there can be like space which has been unused in the backend, so which can be like reclaimed by using the reorg utilities. And one most important aspect is we need to make sure the integrity of data is not lost. So that can be done through like various pointer checking functions that needs to be done through the analyze utilities. And so the data is growing day by day. So there is literally, if we think of creating a 100 MB data set database having just which can hold only 100 MB, so that may not be a viable option maybe down the line even after a month or so. So there are opportunities, there are like utilities which can extend the space of the database. So online or offline, so on the fly. And as I said, the performance aspects, like if you want to retrieve your data faster, so you need to have appropriate indexes. So all these utilities which are creating them and like monitoring the performance of your database in the backend, like you are able to retrieve your data as fast as possible, or else it is taking time. So that I need to make a change to my query. So that there comes the query optimization tools as well. So these are a couple of utilities, not limited to only these, but a database admin can use day in and day out. And yeah, they have been using it from ages. So everything is working fine. So what exactly, uh, and obviously the access control part. So security is of utmost important aspect, and he needs to have a hold on that access control utilities as well. But what exactly is changing in today's time, as in, if we see, even the data is evolving day by day, the user base is getting increased, the volumes of data, the MIPS, the transactions, all these are increasing day by day. So earlier, maybe 40 years ago, or else even 30 years before, all these tasks, which may be a couple of tasks which are manually done. So that is not the case in today's age. So we may not really cope up with the growing data to perform manual operations. So automation, artificial intelligence, and crowd integration. So these are literally reshaping like how we manage the data and how DBS needs to act on these daily activities. So as I said earlier, so DBS needs to adapt to the new techniques and how to handle this data uh, and complexities involved. So we will dive into the complexities, what exactly they are, and the scale of the data in the coming slides. So automation. So this is one important aspect which has been there for ages, but it continues to be in the future as well, along with the AI. So managing all these databases. So in the future, it is going to be AI driven. So that's what, as you can see in the dashboard earlier, maybe we may not be having all those predictive analytics like when can an outage happen, or else when I'm going to expect huge volume of data. Say it is a festive season, so maybe that there can be a spike in the transaction volume. So that is one thing, but is my infrastructure coping up with that spike? So that is how we are analyzing the data in the backend, the past trends, and we are coping up with necessary like proactive measures to make sure uh, we are handling the data in the future. So as you can see, there have been in the graphs itself. So there has been like probability of an outage happening in the near future, or else all those analytics like when your incidents has got shoot up, or else uh, that is not really related to the only the outage aspects, but how much of infrastructure are you using. So how much budget allocations you have been using, whether there is an improvement in your cost measures, or else whether there is a decline in it. So AI is taking shape everywhere, and it is for the predictive maintenance and performance. Even in the performance tuning, if we see DB2 has come up with uh, very new tools, new functionalities which are capable of using the AI, artificial intelligence in the backend, and automated adjustments on real-time workloads. So when we see, if I can quote an example on the real-time workloads, say your transaction throughputs are increasing, but you're also seeing your space is decreasing at the same time. So you can automate the tasks of extending your space in the backend. So whenever you reach a certain amount of threshold, the DBS can use that information and they can automate those tasks in the backend. So that is a typical use case we have. And self-healing. So every now and then we are like hearing about the self-healing systems, automatic restarts, all of these things. But you can also come up with uh, reorganization, as in which can be done on the fly, online reorganization or defragmentation done on the fly as a part of self-healing, because my query performance is taking a hit. I'm not really able to retrieve the data as fast as I expected. So all these things, so artificial intelligence along with the automation. So this is the future that database admins, even they need to work on these items. And one thing, so mainframe, if you see, mainframes has a typical uh, silos, working in silos sort of reputation, but now it is not the case anymore. We are living in 2025 and it is not the case anymore. So either it is the cost measures that is driving the companies in the back end to offload the data to the cloud, or else it is to analyze the data on the cloud environments because they have the appropriate infrastructure available on the cloud environment, softwares available on the cloud environment to analyze this particular data. So cloud integration and hybrid cloud architecture. So nowadays companies are coming up with the hybrid cloud architecture. So even apart from the computation capabilities, like uh, you're managing your workloads on mainframe environment, partly on the cloud environment, they are also mixing their data storage strategy. So they are offloading the data to the cloud for cost efficiency measures. So say if I'm taking an image copy of a database, or else I'm taking backup of a database, I'm just offloading that particular data to a cloud storage. And whenever required, when in case of any issue, or else in case of any corrupted database, I'm just offloading the data. I'm taking it again from the cloud, and I'm hosting it on mainframe, and just I'm bringing my database up with relevant information, and then again you're up and running. So yeah, as I said earlier, so cloud native tools for analytics. So this is one of the main important area which the companies are interested in, to as in derive some sort of patterns in the data that is being hosted on the mainframe. So when it is offloaded to cloud, they have enough utilities to analyze the data on the cloud itself. So yeah, we talked about data and everyone. So there is a trend which used to happen on the big data, and like handling large complex data. But guys, mainframe has been up and running for the past 60 years. And if we see, big data is not a new concept in mainframe at all. It's only how we handle the data that differs. So mainframe databases, so if we see, if you want to derive unbiased as in trends and patterns from the data, so it can be only done through mainframes. So we can't really keep mainframe aside and handle all the data only on the, which is available only on the distributed systems, to analyze and come up with some sort of patterns and trends and derive insights. So when we see big data platforms, so big data is nothing but you have large complex data that can be structured as well as unstructured. So structured data, you can see it is in the tables or else databases itself. So Mainframe has billions of transactional data through which we can derive insights. So yeah, they have been integrated with the big data platforms, and even we can see the data lakes sort of storages which are available on the cloud. So you dump your data, Mainframe data, onto the data lakes, and then you can analyze the data over there through various utilities that are available on the distributed systems. So this also helps. So when you integrate your Mainframe databases with the big data platforms like Hadoop, Rails, Apache Spark, and also all these frameworks. So it will be very easy for the end users to process the data and then derive some insights. So you run your analytics on it, all the statistics, and you can derive much actionable insights. So as I said, the data lakes, which is nothing but you're hosting all of your mixture of data, which is structured and structured in cloud storages. You may be using the Hadoop distributed file systems and all, but you can use them for large scale analytics. And Mainframe data is no exception to that. Only thing is, so it depends on company to company whether if you want to deal with the database data, whether you want to offload it to a cloud storage, or else you can use the data visualization tools as well, which is cost effective and which doesn't really duplicate your data or make it redundant. So it just what it exactly does is, as we see, like we have a view concept in the relational databases, DB2 and all. So it just creates a virtual environment of your databases and you're good to go. You perform whatever you want to analyze. So all your analytics tools or models running on that particular virtual data. So if we see an example on this, so there can be like let's see, it's a ticket booking platform, maybe for an airlines or else maybe for railways or roadways. So you're hosting all of your data in a database, traditional database on a mainframe. It can be an IMSDB or else DB2 or Oracle database, and you have a ticket booking application available. We are collecting various data from, as in required data from these, and we are keeping them in the data lakes. So here in this example, as it shown, so it is Amazon Web Services S3 data lake. So there, maybe through the visualization or else if you're offloading the data over there, you can analyze the patterns, extract the patterns from there, and you can really see, so what is the peak season? So what is the customer behavior during those seasons? So if in case of a off season, you can provide them better promotional offers stating, so now if you're able to go for a vacation, you may be saving 40% of your costs. So that is how personalized communication, which is now actually a big marketing thing in current day and age. So, and one more thing of as in this data lake, what exactly it does is it provides a centralized access. So as I said, mainframe is not working in silos anymore. So you need to club the data from the distributed environments as well as from the mainframe environments. And it's up to you, like the database administrator, what he comes up with the strategies, uh, like how they can interact with the cloud environments or distributed systems. So now security is one more important aspect, because every now and then we have been hearing of hacking the data or else data breaches happening. I must be sure, like a couple of you must have heard of the Target company organization which has lost around 200 million user data. And even like there have been incidents with the Yahoo losing its user data, personal information way back in 2013 or so. So security is one more important thing, where your database, you must be ensuring like you need to analyze the patterns, anomalies on who is exactly accessing the data. So if I found any weird pattern, like maybe a spike in accessing the data or else from an unauthorized user, so you should be able to handle that within as fast as possible. And one more thing, we have been transferring all this data from which has been hosted on mainframe to the cloud environment. We are bringing back from the cloud. So you need to make sure not only your databases that were hosted on the mainframe at a database level is encrypted or else is secure. You need to make sure there are advanced encryption practices that has been deployed while transit of the data as well. So IBM has come up with the pervasive encryption maybe way back in 2017 or 18, but when they launched the G16, they have come up with the quantum encryption. So even those practices have been changing, but uh, uh, so you ask yourself a question whether the DBS have been able to utilize those capabilities. Uh, so that even after 7 or 8 years of launch of the pervasive encryption, we are not able to really tap the potential of it fully. So there have been many customer shops who haven't been using the pervasive encryption unless and until there is a guideline from the country where they have strict compliance issues. So as I said, like AI-driven compliance tools and monitoring. So not only detection of the anomalies and all. So we need to make sure we are adhering to the local laws in the specific country we are operating and the customer data which we are handling, where they belong to. So the regulations like GDPR or LCCA or HIPAA, so all these things. So one needs to make sure we have those practices implemented across the organization, and it is the task of the database administrator himself, like in adhering to all these standards. So yeah, so all these aspects aside, so day-to-day use of the AI and cloud, when we see cloud backups, we have spoken about, like taking the image copies on the cloud and bringing back them whenever needed. But it can also be possible, like we can use artificial intelligence models in assisting the faster recovery during the disaster situation. And as I said, so if you can see, go ahead and search on the DB2, the new functionalities that have been provided from IBM. So there are these AI power assisted query optimization features that have been made available from IBM. And there have been SQL data insights that have been added, which is just making life easy for a database administrator. But the only thing is the DBS should be open, and they should be able to tap all these functionalities. They need to cope up with these things. And one more thing is capacity planning. So how you are able to make sure you are up and running during the holiday season, or else during a season where you have peak activities going on. But at the same time, you are not incurring huge costs for the company in as in adhering all these uh, peak season demands. So this is where AI has been detrimental in actually helping the DBS. So they are really instrumental in shaping up the organization strategies with coping up with the demand, ever growing data. And one more thing, every now and then we have been hearing like we don't have enough resource, or else on the mainframe there is a lack of resource, or else the we don't have the expertise knowledge, or else because there are several retirals happening and the backfills are not really happening as expected. So this is where the Gen AI tools will help us. But we need to make sure Gen AI tools, so they work on a generic models, but we need to make sure the context has been set. So as per the domain. So it is the task of database administrator, because he's the one who is posing knowledge of maybe 20 years of his expertise or 30 years of his expertise, various scenarios that he have observed all through. So what might lead to so and so issue, or else what is the root cause? So all these expertise needs to be embedded in to the Gen AI tools. It can be like a chatbot which can help the Gen Z users in coming up with solutions, or else if I do a search on so and so issue, so maybe your chatbot is responding and providing a feasible solution. So try so and so utility, or else try doing performing the steps, and your data base is can be retrieved to previous state. So, but all these requires the domain knowledge, which is at the database administrator itself. So as of now, we have seen like how the technology has been evolving, and but we haven't really talked about what are the challenges that the DBS are really facing. So if you see, we are talking about AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud, and even the big data platforms. So all these requires upskilling themselves. So yeah, I do agree, like no need to deep dive or else, but to understand the nitty-gritties, one needs to have the context and domain knowledge. So it all means like the existing database administrators should upskill themselves, and they need to learn all these new technologies. And as I said, we are dealing with cloud or else models which were driven through artificial intelligence, but it's really a pretty complex system, because now you are not really interacting with the infra people of cloud only, or else or mainframe only. You need to interact it with the infrastructure folks who have been handling the cloud, or else the team which has been handling with the big data. So it's a lot of collaboration that has been involved over here. So as I said, the collaboration, so you need to make sure you are managing the stakeholders across various domains and various portfolios and keep them in sync. So that is a burden for the DBA. And when you see, there have been like upgrading the database management softwares. So DB2, which has been launched in 1980s, it may not be the same. The functionalities may remain same, but there have been the new features that have been added through IBM. And it's the same case with IMS, or else the any other through any other vendor, because they are also evolving. And it is the task of the database administrator to use those capabilities and maybe tell the application teams like how they can come up with their products, or else how they can modify their softwares to tap the full potential. And yeah, so end of the day, it is business. So there is a risk of vendor lock-in. When I mean vendor lock-in, I may be using the software provided by IBM, maybe the DB2, but maybe a year afterwards, so I can see maybe Broadcom is offering me a tangible solution which is really cost effective. So it is the higher management which usually takes the decisions, and they may switch to the new tool that has been supported by the vendor. But at the back end, it's the database admin who is actually handling all these tasks of these housekeeping activities and regular maintenance activities. He need to learn the new tools as well from the vendor, and he is also involved in the migration efforts. So that is a overhead, literally a overhead for him. So another one most important aspect is nowadays we have been seeing migration from mainframe to cloud, or else mainframe to the distributed systems, which not only means you are not using the mainframe databases anymore, but you're involved in the migration efforts. You need to know the architecture of the other system, and you need to help them in designing your databases that way. And migration to different DBMS. So customers may be migrating from IMS to DB2, or else DB2 to Oracle DB. So that also, because typically when you see, I may be expert, I may be an expert in IMS area, but that may not be the case for me in DB2. So I need to learn about DB2 architecture first, and then the tools and utilities they are supporting. And then I need to make sure the data integrity is maintained. And this is a persistent problem on the lack of resources due to the retirals, and there are no backfills, appropriate backfills. So this is an industry-wide problem for the mainframe. And as I said, coping up with the fast-paced developments, IBM is not a lazy organization. They are coming up with a host of new features. But the question is, are the end users using the full capabilities? So there have been the if you speak about the managed ACBs, so it has been there for almost 6 to 7 years in the IMS area. But customers are converting to the managed ACBs now uh, just because IBM has set a hard deadline that they are going to end the support. Same case in the DB2 area where they have come up with that CI/CD pipelines support for the DB2 or else the SQL insights. But how many of them are we using? Because there is a lack of resource, and it's up to us, like we are the torchbearers, like how to use them appropriately and make our developments even much faster and keep the databases up and running. And one more thing is cost cutting measures by the organization. So it is we need to see the both sides of the coin when we say about the lack of resources. So it also depends on the organizations who are not as in giving as much importance as they should do for a mainframe guy. So that is one most important aspect. And when we see about the cost cutting measures, so it's end of the day, it is business at all. And have you really heard of the universal DBA concepts? So one DBA handling the IMS database, the DB2 database, even the Oracle database. So he must be aware of all those utilities across and how the data is being treated across all these DBMS systems. So IBM has been doing a couple of things like they have been come up with managed ACBs and catalog managed ACBs and all, and they have introduced SQL. So the transition is a bit easier. So IMS database administrators can go ahead and work on the DB2 databases as well. But if you see the ground level, things really needs to improve. And when we say about challenges, so there are opportunities. So career opportunities, so mainframe, so it is a niche skill now. And if you see nowadays people are interested, the young folks, Gen Z folks, they are really interested in taking up opportunities in the mainframe, so which is a good thing. And these predictive maintenance, self-healing. So currently now, as of now, we are in a sort of a transitionary phase. But if we see in the future, so if everything goes fine, so it will help in the backend, these DBS itself. And yeah, so AI is all across. So we can see some sort of performance improvements because all of these housekeeping activities or else optimization activities, which are taking in a fast pace in the backend, which will help the burden to lower the burden on the database administrators. And yeah, uh, and learning is a good thing, right? So so it is a continuous process and a scalable and flexible architecture. So if we see, there is no need to worry. So you are like cross system compatible. So learning is a good thing, and even the data has been split across various platforms. And when you see with the cloud and all, so it is an opportunity to learn about the cloud domains, which is a new opportunity for the database administrator as well. And with the improved business insights, with the real-time analytics, it's a win-win for the company. So even they are earning more, maybe you can say, and that will trickle down to the resources eventually, if the company is good, by the way. And so this brings me to the last question, maybe what exactly is changing in the role of a DBA? If you see a traditional humble DBA, maybe just working in silos on working on the green screen. So if you see fast forward to 2025, so he's nothing short of a superhero handling all these tasks. So the role itself, if you see, that has been changing from the pure operational aspects. So doing all these housekeeping activities and coordinating. So he's also instrumental as a strategic advisor. So all the companies, even like what infra they should use, or else what sort of strategy they need to employ in handling the data to adhering to the guidelines and all. So it is the DBA who has been instrumental in coming up with all these aspects. So yeah, so I want to conclude this just by saying, so embrace the AI, cloud, and automation aspects. So continuous learning is the key, and you need to make sure you're not losing the trend. We have seen enough number of examples in the real world, like missing the trends and they have to shut the shops. It can be same case with the resources as well. So you just evolve, even the role, just catch the trend and help your business grow. So I would like to say, like DBS have been even more important as of now, as of today, because it is data that has been driving the world today, and taking a career in DBA is one of the wisest, cleverest choices. So yeah, as I say, so DBA is no longer working in silos, or so he's the guardian of the treasure, and just embrace it, and then we will survive and thrive. So with this, I will open it for the questions, or I would like to hear your what we say observations, or else if you have any stories on your DBA career, or whoever has been observed something. So good to go.
Great, thank you for that. Anyone got any questions? Just want to pop them in the chat for us.
Not really sure. Okay.
I mean, I noticed that a lot of DBAs now are having to go multi-platform. I used to be where you had mainframers that were multi-skilled. So you had, so for me, I do Kix and DB2 and MQ. But I know that since moving to around, I've noticed that you have DBA teams that run Oracle and DB2 and all this sort of stuff. So it's very different compared to, because you're multi-platform rather than multi-skill, multi-mainframe skilled. So,
Yeah, exciting times ahead. Rick, that's what I can say at the last. But yeah, we need to go through this transition, and it's on us, like we are the torchbearers.
yeah. There's any questions, please put them in the chat. If you could also fill in the session feedback. I know Samir would greatly appreciate any feedback that he would get on his presentation. And also, we would like some feedback to see whether, what sort of sessions you would like in the future. But you can access that through your link in your agenda.
Sure.
Give it another minute, and if there's no more questions, then we can close up.
Okay, then. Thank you, guys. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
your
Thank you very
time.
much, Samir. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the audience
Have a good day, everyone.
that attended. Have a good day. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.